Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to our online class. Hope you are well and safe at home. Okay, shall we start the class today? Children, now we are learning the lesson Chemicals and Chemical Changes. In that, we have learned elements, compounds, mixtures, then about chemical symbols, then about atomicity, and then valency, chemical formula, everything completed. Okay, so atomicity means, let's recall, atomicity means, what is atomicity? The number of atoms present in one molecule of an element is known as its atomicity. So types of molecule that we have learned, is it? Three types we have learned: monatomic, diatomic, tetraatomic, is it? So for each one we have seen some examples, is it? For monatomic means atomicity is 1, is it? Mono means 1. Example: helium, He, neon, sodium, potassium. Next, diatomic molecule. Di means 2, is it? So examples: hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. This and all diatomic molecule. Its atomicity is 2. Then about tetraatomic we have learned, is it? For that example, phosphorus, P4. Tetra means 4. Atomicity is 4. Okay. Next about chemical formula. Chemical formula means the representation of a molecule of a compound using chemical symbols of its constituent elements is called a chemical formula. For that also we have seen few examples, is it? Water, H2O. Their element is hydrogen and oxygen. So two elements they join together, so we'll say as compound, is it? Then like that we have seen some examples: sulfuric acid, nitric acid, calcium carbonate, etc. Then what is valency? Valency means the combining capacity of the atom of an element is called valency. The combining capacity of the atom of an element is called valency. For that also we have seen some elements valencies. This is it: hydrogen 1, carbon 4, oxygen 2, chlorine 1, potassium 1, iron 2 or 3. Is it? Like that we have seen few elements. So the combining capacity of the atom of an element is called valency. So I said you to learn this tabular column, is it? Valency. Okay, don't forget, learn that properly and clearly. Okay, then writing a chemical formula that we have seen. For 4 points we have learned, is it? For that, okay, first point is we have to write down the symbols of the constituent element, is it? Second point, write down the valencies of the elements. Third point is cross over the valencies and write them as subscripts. Then if the valency is divisible by a common number, then divide and simplify the formula. So this much we have learned. For that some examples also we have learned. Formula for water, carbon dioxide, that and all we have learned, is it? Then in the last class I have given 3 more, that is potassium chloride, sodium oxide, then calcium chloride. This and all we have learned, is it? Then fill in the blanks. Last week I have given in that worksheet, is it? That is dash may or may not exist independently, that is atoms. Dash are formed when two or more similar or different atoms join together. Molecules or mixtures, molecules. Dash is made up of only one kind of atoms, element or compound, element. Dash consists of two or more substances simply mixed together. Mixtures or compound, mixtures, is it? Dash is the number of atoms present in one molecule of an element. Atomicity or valency, atomicity. Then we can learn about chemical equations. Okay, what is called chemical equation? A chemical equation is a shorthand form of representing a chemical reaction using symbols and formulae. So what is called chemical equation? A chemical equation is a shorthand form of representing a chemical reaction using symbols and formulae. You all know about symbols and that formulas, is it? So chemical equation is the shortened form of representing a chemical reaction using symbols and formulae. Chemical reactions involve the conversion of certain chemical substances, that is elements, compounds, into some other chemical substances. The elements or compounds involved initially in the reaction called reactants. Okay. So first, if for example, if you add water and lemon juice, so first we are adding, no, that is reactant. Then new things, that is juice we are getting, is it lemon juice. So that is the product. Okay. So chemical reactions involve the conversion of certain chemical substances into some other chemical substances. Okay. The elements or compounds involved initially in the reaction called what? Reactant. Okay. First stage. And new product new thing we are getting, no, that is new element or compounds formed, no, that is called what? Products. So reactant means the element or compound involved initially in the reaction called reactant. The new element or compound formed are called products. Okay. Then how to write the chemical equation? So that steps we want to follow. Some steps we want to follow. Okay. See, the first step, you want to identify the reactants and the products of the chemical reaction. Okay. So you want to know what are all reactant and what all are the product of that particular chemical reaction. That's the first step. So you want to know reactant and the product. Then write the names of the reactants on the left hand side with the plus sign between them. If there is two or more reactants are there in between, you want to write symbol plus. Okay. That's the second step. So first step, reactant and the product you should write no. Then second one, you should name the reactants in the left hand side with the plus sign. Okay. Then next step, write the names of the products of the right hand side with the plus sign between them. Place an arrow in between two sides with the arrowhead pointing towards the products. So in between the reactant and the product, you should use arrow. Okay. In the reactant as well as the product, if there is two or more element or the compound, if it is there, you should use plus sign. Then in between the reactant and product, you should use the arrow. Okay. So this equation is called what? Word equation. Word equation. Then replace the names of the products and the reactants with symbols and formulae. Okay, this gives the chemical equation. Understand? Then make sure that the number of atoms of each element on both sides is equal. This is called balancing the equation. Okay, so both the side of the reactant and that product. Okay, for both that side, the number of atoms of each element, it should be equal. Okay, so that's the fourth point. Okay, so this is about chemical equation. Then how to balance? The fourth step we studied about balancing the equation. So how to balance? So about that we can learn now. First step in balancing an equation is to count the number of atoms of each element on both sides of the equation. Example, x plus y2 react to form a compound xy. See the video, the picture I have shown. X plus y2 gives x, y is the product. So this word equation for this reaction, it is shown in the picture, video. Okay. The number of atoms of elements x and y in the above mentioned equation is shown alongside. To balance y on both sides, multiply RHS by 2. That is, x plus y2 gives 2xy. Now the number of atoms of y is balanced but not the number of atoms of x. Therefore, multiply x on the LHS by 2. Thus, the equation becomes 2x plus y2 gives 2xy. Okay. Next. This is a balanced equation as the number of atoms of x and y on both sides is equal. Both the side it is equal. See that last equation 2x plus y2. Is it? Arrow after also x is 2 and y is 2, is it? So it is equal. Understand? Keeping these steps in mind, let us now write the chemical equation for the formation of magnesium oxide. Magnesium burns in oxygen to give magnesium oxide. Here the reactants are magnesium and oxygen. So reactants are magnesium and oxygen. Okay, the product is magnesium oxide. So how will you write the word equation? Magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. So magnesium plus oxygen is reactant and magnesium oxide is the product. Okay, then step 3, replacing the names with symbols and formulae, we get the chemical equation as the number of atoms of the elements are magnesium atoms in LHS is 1, oxygen 2. Number of atoms in RHS is magnesium 1 and oxygen is 1, is it? So, you have to balance that, is it? So, Mg plus O2 gives 2 MgO, is it? You have to multiply by 2. So, Mg plus O2 gives 2 MgO. Now, the number of oxygen atoms is balanced, but the number of magnesium atoms is not. Therefore, multiply magnesium on the LHS by 2. Thus, the equation becomes 2 Mg plus O2 gives 2 MgO. So, now this is the balanced chemical equation. Okay. So, first you want to write the word equation. Magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. Then replace the names with symbols and formulae. Then we want to balance the equation in both the sides, is it? First, to balance the oxygen on both sides, multiply RHS by 2. So, Mg plus O2 gives 2 MgO. Now, the number of oxygen atoms is balanced, but the number of magnesium atoms is not, is it? Therefore, multiply magnesium on the LHS by 2. Thus, the equation becomes 2 Mg plus O2 gives 2 MgO. So, here the equation is balanced, is it? Here see the reactant magnesium is 2, is it? Oxygen is 2. In the product side see Mg 2 into 1. In the subscript Mg and O it has 1, is it? So 2 into 1 2. Therefore magnesium is 2. Then oxygen also 2 into 1 2, is it? So that both are 2. So both the side, the reactant and product side, both are equal, is it? Therefore we can say this chemical equation is balanced. Okay, chemical equation is balanced. Okay, so magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. Sodium plus chlorine gives sodium chloride, is it? Okay. Also, aluminum plus chlorine gives aluminum chloride. Here, aluminum and chlorine are the reactant and the aluminum chloride is product. Okay. So, today about chemical equation we have learned and how to balance the equation. So, learn this. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.